Hello, everyone, and welcome to another session of Current Affairs Important Events. Today, we cover the week 4 of October 2021. So, let's go ahead and begin this session. Prime Minister last week launched the largest pan India health insurance infrastructure scheme to be known as PM Ayushman Bharat Health Infrastructure Mission. And the same was unveiled on 25th of October 2021. The plan outlay is for rupees 64,180 crore, and it aims for robust public health systems in both rural and urban areas, and also to make the states capable to respond effectively to any public health emergency in future, and also to combat future diseases just like what we saw COVID-19. The scheme also aims to support close to 17,788 rural healthcare centers and creation of 11,000 plus new urban health and wellness centers. With an aim to make the districts self-reliant in critical care, the scheme also aims to create 37,000 new critical care beds with ICU and oxygen, and to create critical care blocks in 602 districts with population having more than 5 lakhs. The scheme also aims to promote research and to provide for 4,000 labs and 4 new National Institute of Virologists, along with 9 biosafety 3 labs. So it's one of the biggest schemes to be unveiled in recent times. If you go back a little while, and you'll remember in this month itself, the Prime Minister unveiled Swachh Bharat 2.0, and so this scheme again comes with a very big outlay, close to 64,180 crore, and definitely will give a boost to the entire healthcare setup in the country. The 67th National Film Awards were conferred on October 25th, 2021. While the awards were announced in the month of March, but due to the ongoing pandemic and especially looking at the second wave, the awards were not given to the final recipient till now. So it was finally awarded, it was finally given to the recipients on October 25th. Superstar Rajnikant backed the 51st Dada Sahab Phalke Award, which is for contribution to the Indian cinema. And it's the highest honor in film awarded by the Government of India, and is definitely awarded for the excellence in cinematic achievement. Best feature film award went to Marakar, Lion of Arabian Sea, which is in Malayalam language. The best actor award was shared between Manoj Bajpayee for his role in Bhosle, and Dhanush, the South Star, for his role in Asuran. The best actress award went to Kangana Ranaut for her acting prowess in Manikarnika and the movie Panga. So check the other important awardees. This is an important segment from entrance exam perspective. Haunting the government back, the Supreme Court has finally created a technical committee which will probe the Pegasus scandal. The three-member bench, which comprises of Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramanna, Justice Suryakant, and Justice Hima Kohli, finally set up a technical committee which will look into the Pegasus scandal. The team will be led by retired Justice Ravindram, and he will be aided by former IPS Alok Joshi, along with cybersecurity expert Sandeep Oberoi. The members of the technical committee also include Naveen Kumar Chaudhary, who is a professor for cybersecurity and digital forensics, along with Prabhaharan P, who is a computer science professor, and Anil Ashwin Gumaste from IIT Bombay. Many countries which bought this software, they already created probe panels, while the Indian government had denied or rejected Pegasus snooping as a fake issue. Now, what exactly is Pegasus? Pegasus is a spyware, also classified as a weapon, and is sold by Israeli company NSO to various governments across the world. Now, this software is actually used for surveillance and snooping, and a single license which can infect multiple smartphones costs roughly around 70 lakhs. The number of about 300 journalists, legislators, politicians, advocates, lobbyists. They were there allegedly in the list of 50,000 phones suspected to be infected by Pegasus. So finally, Supreme Court has formed a committee after all the hearings, and this committee will look into the allegations, and the committee will submit its reports to the Supreme Court of India, the Honorable Supreme Court of India. Along the lines of COP26, the G20 Summit was held at Rome, wherein the climate change actually dominated the entire 2 day of the summit. The member countries agreed, but with a compromised format, with a compromised wording. They agreed for a mid-century timeline to reach net zero greenhouse emissions, basically. While there was no particular year mentioned, China and Russia, along with Saudi Arabia, have set 2060 as their goal for carbon neutrality. But the G20 group, the overall G20 group, did not agree to a specific year. Rather, they had a very compromised scenario, had a very compromised wording where they agreed for a mid-century timeline, basically. Now, the G20 members also agreed to end financing, public financing for the coal-fired power generation units abroad. And there was no target set for phasing out coal domestically. So, which means the governments, the countries, the G20 members still continue to use domestic coal as far as power production is concerned. Apart from climate issues, G20 leaders also agreed to enact global minimum corporate tax at 15%. This tax will actually deter multinational companies from dodging tax by shifting their profits to countries with having ultra low rates, and where the business of the companies may not be very high, or may not be very, or maybe very, very little actually. So this has been done to ensure that the multinational companies do not use the tax havens in particular. A country witnessed the decline in the COVID cases slowdown, which means the slowdown which has been there for some period right now, that slowdown is actually declining, and this can definitely be attributed to the festive season. So if you look at the third week numbers, it was just 1% compared to the second weeks, whereas second week saw almost 27% reduction in the number of cases compared to the first week. There are quite a good number of states which witnessed the the increase in the number of COVID cases during the festive season. Chhattisgarh almost witnessed 60% increase in the number of cases as compared to the second week. Assam stood at 42%, West Bengal at 41%, Himachal at 25%. The national capital, Delhi, also witnessed an increase of close to 9.2%, along with Karnataka at 4%. Kerala, which continues to grapple with COVID cases, the numbers still significant, it also reported a 2.5% increase in the weekly numbers. The center also called the meeting of the state health ministers last week and urged them to expedite the second dose administration, particularly for those which are overdue. So there are many eligible individuals in the country who have not taken their second dose, but they have already uh, 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 they have already missed the deadline. So the health minister Mansukh Mandavia urged the state health ministers during the meeting to expedite the administration of the second dose. The government actually plans to cover all the adult population by at least one dose by December 2021. On a good note, our country also saw during the last decade, during the last 10 years, the improvement in the infant mortality rate. The infant mortality rate actually has dropped to 30 from 50 in the last 10 years. While if you talk about the last 10 years, the achievement was greater in the first 5 years from period 2010 to 2015, but it actually slowed down in the last 5 years. Infant mortality rate basically is the number of babies who are less than a year old and who die for every 1,000 live births. Kerala has done a wonderful job, and it now matches United States with an IMR of 6. Delhi has also improved its numbers, and the current IMR of Delhi is 11. Tamil Nadu is at 15. Maharashtra 17, and these three states are the best performers. The If you talk about the worst performers, Chhattisgarh, the IMR stood at 40, Assam 40, Uttar Pradesh 41, and Madhya Pradesh, are some of the worst states. Madhya Pradesh, the number stood at 46. In fact, Madhya Pradesh performance is even worse than some African countries like Sudan. Globally, the lowest number of lowest IMR is 2, which has been recorded in Japan, Singapore, Finland, Norway, and Iceland. So I'm sure in the coming decade, we'll see further improvement in the infant mortality rate, and with better medical conditions, with better healthcare setups, and now with a big financial outlay through Ayushman Bharat scheme, I'm sure the numbers will further improve. Continuing on the business front, the government of India and Tata Group signed the share purchase agreement, and this is a step forward to acquisition of the Air India by Tata. So the share purchase agreement was signed on 25th of October, and the Tata Group is definitely set to back the national airline by the last quarter of financial year 2022. So the earlier talking about the story earlier in this month, the Tata Group actually won the bid for the Air India disinvestment for rupees 18,000 crore, of which they have to pay 2,700 crore upfront. Government will actually retain rupees 44,679 crore debt of Air India through a special purpose vehicle which has been created for it, and the Air India has already been running in losses for years. The deal now enters the next phase, which is conditions precedent. And this phase is where the clearances will be sought from various regulatory agencies, such as Competition Commission of India and Director General of Civil Aviation, along with the third party vendors. So hopefully, the government is stepping up and working on the timelines which it has set for itself, and to ensure that the transfer of Air India happens to Tata by the end of this financial year. Paytm actually hiked its initial public offering to rupees 18,300 crore. Paytm, which is owned by 197 Communications, initially filed for an IPO of 16,600 crore, and this is set to be this is set to become the largest IPO in the country so far. So now the IPO will open on 8th of November, and the size of the primary offering remains unchanged. So earlier the primary offering was rupees 8,300 crore, which has not been changed, but the secondary sale size now increases by rupees 1,700 crore, and it becomes 10,000 crore instead of rupees 8,300 crore as planned earlier. Paytm claims to have 40% share in the customer to merchant payment market, whereas in the customer to merchant e-wallet transaction, the share is close to 65 to 70%. Paytm also has 28% share in the number of FASTags issued in the country. So this is no doubt one of the most awaited initial public offerings in the recent times. On the ongoing hearing in the Supreme Court related to the SCSC Job Quota and promotion, the center informed the Supreme Court that the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes should get number of seats and posts in government jobs proportional to their population. Supreme Court is currently hearing a number of pleas of center and states challenging the order of the High Courts, which coerced the policy of reservation in promotion on various grounds. Apart from these important events, the must know includes the Facebook changes its name to Meta. The Reserve Bank Governor Shaktikanta Das gets an extension for another 3 years. His tenure was to end on December 2021. So now, until further orders, his tenure has been extended till December 2024. The Jamul Islam, who is 13 years old and from Kashmir, won the gold medal in World Kickboxing under 14 category. The AWS income criteria is linked to Sinho panel. That's an affidavit government plan to submit to the Supreme Court, which is hearing the petition filed for the decision of the EWS criteria, wherein the income limit has been set at rupees 8 lakhs. The government expects to collect rupees 10,000 crore through Bharat bond ETF, which will be issued in the month of December. and India tests the 5,000-kilometer range Agni 5, a nuclear-capable intercontinental ballistic missile. So that way, the key news or the key events of the last week, which is of October 2021,